Shalom. So today we're going to talk about the importance of wearing fringes. Now, this is not about people who are not yet wearing it, right? But this is mainly about the understanding of why we should do it, right? One of the things a lot of people will say is that, oh, fringes doesn't make you more spiritual, but it was never about that. For example, why do you wear uniforms? Like, why does a policeman wear police uniform? It doesn't make him more police than he is. Why does a nurse wear nurse uniform? It doesn't make her more nurse than she is. So when it comes to this law, why do we have that thought process about wearing fringes doesn't make the person more spiritual? Well, what about all the other laws that we keep? Do they make us more spiritual? But why, when it comes to this, we have this thought process that the outward doesn't make? The thing about the law is what we don't understand. It's not just about being spiritual, because the entire nation of Israel is not always spiritual. But guess what? We are still Israel. You have the spiritual ones, you have the non spiritual ones. But we are still Israel. It doesn't change the fact. So whether you cut your beard, grow your beard, whether you eat pork, you don't eat pork, if you're an Israelite, you are still an Israelite regardless. So the importance of that is the law gives us an identity. Just as if you wear a nurse uniform to work, you're identified as a nurse. You wear a police uniform, you are identified as a police. But if you're a firefighter wearing a mechanic suit, then what does that say about you? Right? It says that you're confused about what you actually are, speaking in terms of your career, right? Now, it's the same way with our identity, our God-given identity. As the scripture says about the fringes, it's for us to remember to keep the commandments. Just as when you wear your police uniform or whatever uniform, you remember that you're on duty and this is what you have to do. These are the things that you need to follow. When you're off duty, that's it. Once you get out of those uniforms, you are back to being you, who you are as a person, as an individual, what nation you belong to, right? So it's the same with the wearing of the fringes. Now let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 15, and verse 38. It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations." Meaning, because we're still generating as a people. So it goes on. "And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a riband of blue, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Most High, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring." So here in verse 39, it's telling us it's to call to remembrance. So you know what happens when we dress as everyone else? For example, when you go to a party, to a club, right? Guess what? Everyone is just wearing whatever fashion, right? You cannot tell the police apart from the doctor, from the mechanic, from the fisherman, from the no. It's a mixed multitude, diverse, diverse things, people, right? You cannot tell who is what. So if a Muslim is there, if a Christian is there, if an Hebrew is there, if a Jewish person, you cannot tell. They're all doing the same things, right? Because what about the identity? How do you tell who is who, or who should not be doing what, or who should not be living a certain way, or whatever it is? It is the laws that you are identified with. So let us just go deal with a Muslim, for example. In the Muslim countries, right, the woman would be fully covered, wear the hijab, and so forth. What happens when this nation, this um, power, Babylon, right, this society brings forth their culture upon these people? Or when those Muslims come to this part of the world, what happens? Now you see that the women they're not fully covered anymore, but they're just wearing their jackets, the pants, and this the hijab. So what happens is they're slowly losing their culture, and in losing their culture, they're losing what? A part of their identity, their Muslim laws. It's the same thing with us. No, we don't want to wear these fringes. So guess what? You cannot tell that this person is a Hebrew. This person should be over there eating pork or doing that or whatever behavior it is. But when you just as everybody else in this society, guess what? It takes away the accountability. So you can see a brother or a sister over there and you just walk past. But guess what? When you see a person over there wearing the fringes, you know that you can speak with the person and hold them accountable for the behaviors that they are portraying in wherever it is. So the importance was not about to say it makes you more spiritual than somebody else. There's no law in the Bible that was ever about making you more spiritual than the other person. It's about understanding. And with understanding comes what? Obeisance. So it is there in the law. It didn't say, okay, this law of wearing fringes should make you more spiritual than these other people. There is no comparison in the law. It goes for each individual equally. So we have to understand that it is when we are out there, because we are we're carnal people. We will behave in certain ways, but guess what? When you are gonna do a certain behavior, and then you look upon your fringes, you will remember who you are. You remember your identity. You call to mind, oh, I should not be doing this. But when it's not there, guess what? You your mindset is like this society. You can hide behind the trees in the garden. So guess what? Not wearing fringes, you can say, oh, okay, I'm a Christian, or I'm a this, I'm an American, I'm a Jamaican, I am whatever you want to call yourself. But when you wear your fringes, guess what? It stands out. It identifies you with the nation you belong to. And with the nation you belong to, guess what? There are a set of laws that govern how you should live, what types of behavior you display. So now it puts you in a position to do what? To be accountable for whichever behavior you're portraying out there. When you're not wearing a fringe, what are they going to hold you accountable for? You're just an American, you're just a Christian, you're just whatever. You can always hide behind the trees of the garden. Wearing your fringes, you can't. So the importance of keeping this law is for us to always remember our identity, remember our laws, remember what we are subject to. It says here in verse 39, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them. And do them. So guess what? If you were out there and you're gonna do some crazy drinking or whatever, you look upon it, you remember that okay, you should just drink in moderation. You don't go behave like an alcoholic crazy, just drinking, drinking, chugging, 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 and so forth. You carry yourself a certain way at a certain standard. He says, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which he used to go award. Because once you're hidden among these trees of the garden, among these nations, guess what? You can do whatever they do, you can always follow them. But when you're wearing your fringes, just like when you're wearing your work uniform, whether you're a police, a nurse, an accountant, a fireman, a teacher, you maintain that standard wherever you go in your uniform. When you step out that uniform, you can be whatever beast you want to be. There's no identity when you're just dressed in the fashion of this Western world, right? When you look at these dressing that you're seeing on your screen right now, you can put a nation to them. So once you look at the fashion, you say, okay, they belong to this nation, they belong to that nation, and you also can tell what behaviors they should be displaying because when you know what nation they belong to, you know their culture. So the culture, the law is one and the same. Your identity is embedded in that. So it's important for us to understand the importance of wearing fringes. It's not about comparing who is spiritual or who is not spiritual. It's about the obeisance to the Most High. Shalom.